Everyone knows LEGO deeply cares about being age-friendly for everyone, as they almost never make anything rated R. While they used to have a line of Simpsons sets, it angered a lot of fans, as they felt it was a misuse of LEGO pieces to make such inappropriate characters, so they quickly discontinued it. However, recently, they've decided to bring the entire theme back, giving us brand new minifigures and sets. When they originally made it, they avoided the worst of the show, especially stuff like Duff Beer. While iconic in the show, they replaced it with a soda, and other things like the power plant and the bar were completely non-existent. However, now that they're bringing it back anyway, it makes me think they don't really care anymore, so I'm hoping we'll finally get to see some of these R-rated ideas. One of the biggest LEGO rules of all time is to never use the military in sets. However, just like everyone else, they do break this every once in a while, so here's the 4 craziest times. First up, there's the Toy Story soldiers. These were super cartoonish, which is how I think they got away with it. However, the next ones are even crazier, as in some of the Indiana Jones sets, we actually got a Nazi plane and even a Nazi soldier. And while they technically didn't have any of the symbols, everyone knows what they are. Another crazy one's for the first Wonder Woman movie, where we got a World War II plane. This is super cool for any plane fans, as we almost never get accurate ones. And if you ignore the giant-sized god that was also part of this set, it's actually pretty historically accurate. LEGO Overwatch was a pretty small theme, giving us only a couple sets, but it turns out there was quite a lot of minifigures, so here's the top 5. In 5th place, we got the Roadhog. I love custom big figs, and this guy's no exception. I mean, look at that tattoo. Then we got Farah. The wings for this are absolutely gorgeous, and I love that gold helmet. Looks just like one of those old pharaohs. Better than that, though, is DVA. This is the only suit here that I think has perfect resemblance to the video game, and I love the custom hairpiece with headset. However, my favorite is probably Hammett. It's a new mold for the hamster, and he looks just like one of the G-Force characters. LEGO Target just gave me the worst jump scare of all time, as I was looking up different collectible minifigure series, and the first one that came up with this Target result, which said LEGO Invincible minifigures. I could not have been more hyped. LEGO Invincible would be one of the coolest sets of all time, especially in a minifigure series, where you could just get the characters. However, I always thought it was way too violent to actually get it in real life. Although I guess they did make Stranger Things. When I got this Target result, I figured I'd missed some crazy news, so I rushed to go see it. But it turns out it's just some knockoff that isn't even a buildable figure. It's just a random bat. Every year, LEGO releases hundreds of sets, and there's always a giant debate about which build is the best. However, I think this year, Fortnite actually takes the cake with this Peely Bone model. At $100, it's an intricate build of a half banana, half skeleton, and it uses every brick technique in the books. As I move up it, you can see the banana side looks pretty good. My favorite part's at the top, where it's actually peeling off. However, far better than that is the skeleton half. Not only is this side just as posable as the other, but it's got crazy details, like the intestines, a curved rib cage, and even this eye and mouth. And I'm just in awe about how much detail they put into this set. LEGO just announced a collaboration with Fortnite, which might seem odd to casual fans, as LEGO almost never does anything with guns. In fact, even when they did their massive Overwatch collaboration a couple years ago, they made all the guns super blocky and tried not to really advertise with them. However, Fortnite is all about guns, so what's with this? Well, it seems like LEGO's solution to this is just ignoring the fact they have guns. And all the promotional image LEGO themselves have posted, the characters are holding anything but guns, from random pickaxes to burgers to all kinds of other weird things. LEGO's known for avoiding violence in its brand, taking out guns and avoiding making sets about wars or militaries. However, sometimes LEGO does the exact opposite and adds violence to themes that were otherwise peaceful. One great example of this is Life on Mars. This entire theme was about humans going to Mars and working together with Martians to build a new community. There's no weapons or violence in this entire theme. But that wasn't good enough for LEGO. So after the first couple of sets came out, they changed Life on Mars to Mars Mission. This was about humans attacking the Martians and the Martians fighting back. LEGO's made some amazing Star Wars minifigures over the years. However, one horrible piece has completely ruined a ton of them, and that's the clip piece. When this first came out, it absolutely sucked and was way too weak. I'm sure if you have any old LEGO flags in your collection, they probably all snapped by now, making them impossible to use. And this was even worse on characters like the super duper battle droid. The clips on their arms were super breakable, leading to entire collections being destroyed within a couple years. However, it got worse than that. Named characters like General Grievous also used these pieces. And the worst of all is Smog. Unlike the Star Wars characters, this guy was super expensive, coming in a $100 set only. And the Red Wings used the same clip piece, which broke extremely easy. And since the set has been long discontinued, it's almost impossible to replace these without going to eBay. This LEGO Ideas set figured out a genius way to get around one of the hardest LEGO rules. Ideas sets are all created by fans and later turned into official builds. But when they do so, the designers have a massive constraint. They're not allowed to create any new pieces. However, if you look closely at the minifigures, you'll see one of the trick-or-treaters is wearing a brand new hair hat combo we've never seen before. Or at least you think we haven't. It turns out this piece was supposed to be used in the last video line before it got cancelled. And while the sets never got released, they did design the piece, which still makes it an official LEGO part. Every LEGO set comes with a recommended age, which is the minimum age they think you should be if you're going to build the set. But after looking at the most recent Fortnite sets, it feels like LEGO makes this number out of nothing, as all 4 of the LEGO Fortnite sets have a different age rating. For example, the Durburger has 9+, while the Supply Llama has 12+. This kind of makes sense to me as one is a lot more complicated. However, the one with the most guns, the Battle Bus, is only 10+, which is crazy for a brand that's supposed to be gun safe. The absolute weirdest of all those is the Peely Bone, which is somehow for adults only as it's 18+. There's nothing super violent about this, and while the builds seem a little bit complex, it's nothing crazy, especially compared to the Llama and the Battle Bus. So what makes this not for kids? Breaking Bad was one of the biggest shows of all time, and for some reason LEGO fans absolutely love it. There's been tons of custom mocks, minifigures, minifigures, and even official sites selling their own custom versions of these LEGO sets. However, while it seemed unlikely we'd ever get official LEGO sets, it just became officially impossible, as it's listed on the no-go on the Ideas site. There's a website where anyone can make their own custom builds, and they have a chance of becoming a real-life LEGO set. However, they have a list of shows and movies you're not even allowed to make uploads for, and one of the top on the list is Breaking Bad. This is a shame, but it makes sense, as there's no way LEGO would ever make a meth piece. The new LEGO Nightmare Before Christmas set is one of the best of the year. However, it's got a huge problem. It's missing Oogie Boogie, the main villain of the entire movie. Recently, all the LEGO designers were interviewed about why they decided not to include him, and the reason is absolutely terrible. When they're first asked about it, they talk about working with an IP partner, as everything has to be approved through Disney. However, it seems like this wasn't actually the problem, as they continue to ramble on about a ton of stuff, from the fact that Oogie Boogie isn't in any of these scenes, and then talking about how there wasn't enough new pieces to make Oogie Boogie. I think this is kind of ridiculous, as he definitely could have been brick built. I mean, look how good the mayor turned out, and to have a movie set without a villain is just ridiculous. Come on, LEGO. Brick Warriors makes a ton of custom LEGO guns, so let's rank 5 of the most expensive ones. First, we got the Gatling gun. This thing is just massive and looks so cool in that epic stand. Then we got the French rifle, which has an insane amount of detail on it, and is by far one of the most accurate LEGO weapons. Next up, we got this barbed wire, which is perfect for any LEGO war scene, and can connect together and make a super long pipe. Then we got this sci-fi headhunter pistol. I love how compact this thing is, and it just looks amazing on these sci-fi minifigures. LEGO's made tons of guns over the years, so let's rank the top 5 coolest ones. First, we got the classic Tommy gun. This gun is perfect for any gangsters, and has a tube at the end so you can connect a silencer. Then we got the Mega Stud Shooter. Unlike this weak, ugly looking one, this thing shoots studs at full power. Just don't shoot your eye out. Next up is the revolver. Using a bunch of the old Western sets. This thing even has indents for all of the bullets to go in. Next up might be my favorite, which is some kind of automatic Uzi. While it's slightly bigger than it should be, it's still such a cool looking gun. Have you ever created the perfect LEGO battle scene and just wanted to add some blood for final effects, but felt like big red LEGO bricks were just too cartoony? Well, here's 3 perfect ways to add blood to your LEGO minifigs. The first is by grabbing some red clay. You can find this anywhere, and if you can't find red, just grab some white and color it red with a marker. You can take really small amounts on this and add it into the minifigure's face or arms for a perfect blood effect. If you want an even smaller effect, try grabbing a red dry erase marker. This way you can draw the blood straight onto the minifigure, and once you're done with it, you can just wipe it off with your finger. Have you ever been trying to make a battle scene between a couple minifigures and had the perfect setup built? Other than the fact that there's no blood, it can be super weird trying to get blood in LEGO, as you're usually stuck between using a bunch of red studs that just looks way too cartoony, or ruining your minifigures with things like paint or prop blood. However, there's a way better way to do it, and it's super cheap. This blood splat piece from Brickforge is a custom LEGO piece that can attach to the floors or walls of your builds, and perfectly replicates that classic blood spill effect. That way you can finally finish your scene without ruining any of your LEGO pieces. Have you ever been trying to make a battle scene between a couple minifigures and had the perfect setup other than the fact that there was no blood? It can be really hard to do blood in LEGO, but Bennett Productions has just found the perfect technique for putting accurate blood in your LEGO battles. He starts by taking a knife and cutting a hole into the minifigure, so make sure you're using someone you don't care about. After it's big enough, he cuts the neck off of the minifigure so it doesn't show through, grabs some putty, colors it red, and then sticks a massive crowbar in the thing. And boom, you've got the perfect blood effect. One rule LEGO tries to never break is to keep all their sets family friendly. Even the newest 18+ line doesn't have any sets that couldn't be built by kids. However, there's one set they definitely want you to forget about, and that's the Stranger Things house. When they made this back in season 1, the show was already pretty dark, but since then it's become way more violent and gruesome, showing horrible deaths, tons of blood, and horror movie level scenes. Because of this, there's no way LEGO ever makes another set, and it seems like they really want fans to forget about the theme entirely, as I'm sure they're getting tired of people demanding sets for a theme they'll never make. It's just too gory, which is an absolute shame because the flipping nature of the first set was one of the coolest LEGO techniques of all time, and I would have loved to see that again. LEGO has a huge gun problem. They try to avoid them every chance they get, and when they do make sets for something that needs it, like Overwatch, they make massive brick-built ones that look nothing like the real things. However, even though LEGO's really against guns with minifigures, they seem to love putting them in their builds, as almost every LEGO set nowadays seems to have a shooting mechanism within the build. So here are the 4 best ways to shoot LEGO. First are the flick missiles. These are by far the oldest one in this list, and while they don't go as far as some of the others, I love them because it takes skill to use. The harder you can flick it, the more pain you can inflict on your friends. Then we got the flick missiles. These are awesome because with just a light tap, they'll fly across the room, and like Nerf bullets, you'll never find them again. However, because they're so light, they don't do a lot of damage, which is why LEGO made a new massive gun. This is gonna be found on Jay's Titan mech, and it's got a huge rubber bullet on it that shoots just as far as flick missiles, but causes way more pain, which is why it's confusing that